Hollywood Edwards here for Soldiers of Shoot. Smackdown review for this week. I am flying solo on this mission tonight. So, let's get into it. Not that good of a show, to be honest. Had some bright spots, but for the most part, I didn't think this was a good show as a go-home show for a Fastlane pay-per-view in 5 days. But let's go through it. Let's do this. SmackDown opened up with a graphic. Rest in peace, King Kong Bundy. I actually took the time to watch the WrestleMania 2 main event, Hulk Hogan and King Kong Bundy tonight. The blue steel cage, synonymous with the name King Kong Bundy for me. Any child of the 80s, when they hear the words King Kong Bundy, they think of the blue cage. So, rest in peace, King Kong Bundy. Show live from Wilkes Barre, Pennsylvania. Wilkes Barre, unless you're from Pennsylvania, then it's Wilkes-Barre. Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Daniel Bryan kicks it off with Rowan. He doesn't speak, shows the screen, he points to the Tron. It's a Kofi package. It's basically the history of Kofi over the last month. Bryan says he's not out here to talk about Kofi. Kofi isn't a leader. He's a supporting player. That's why he's not here tonight. He's on a promotional tour of India with the New Day where he belongs. Because he's just a B-plus player. See what they're doing there? See where they're going with that? Kevin Owens came out and, they had a pretty good interaction. I think they were trying to one-up each other. Didn't seem scripted to me. Decent open between Owens and Daniel Bryan. I'm not going to get into specifics because it was just okay. But not bad. A brawl ensues. Owens went for the stunner. Rowan made the save. Fans boo as Rowan and Bryan stand tall. Puts that title up in the air and he and Rowan leave. Creating hype. The fans seemed to be into Owens. It created some hype for the match on Sunday. Big one week build for this match. I don't know. I'm not really looking forward to it, to be honest with you. They kind of killed the buzz of Bryan by killing the Kofi buzz, in my opinion. They teased the R-Truth U.S. Open Challenge again. Shane McMahon's backstage with The Miz. Miz is warming up for the big, good old recipe. Don't change the recipe here. Got a tag team rivalry feud for the titles, so we've said it many times on the channel here so far in the past month. It's what they do. They take one guy and put him against the other guy because they're a tag team, and the way they book is lazy, so they put them up against each other and see what happens. And what happened was The Miz won. So the only thing I got to say here was the opening promo from the Usos. They killed it. Crushed it. Very entertaining. These guys are gold on the mic. And they're believable. The Usos, baby. Welcome to the Uso Penitentiary. I love it. I love me some Usos. I think I might get an Uso t-shirt. Sip of coffee. The Usos. After the match, Shane hits the ring to celebrate with The Miz. Shane and Miz look on from the ring as the Usos leave with their titles in the air. Was it an okay match? Yeah. Anything to talk about? Nope. And you're going to see a pattern here in the show. This is very, very average, I think, at best, this show overall. Charlotte Lynch backstage, she says she's going to have Becky come out. She's going to get Becky out there and wants to have a friendly conversation with Bex. And that was that. So, next up in the ring, you got R-Truth there, and R-Truth is talking more about Cena because Cena, I'm a big Cena fan, and you can't see me, and the crowd seemed to be into it. You know, very comedic spot. They had the big 7-second dance break, and it was what it was. And then you had the open challenge start, so you had Joe come out, And then you had Ray come out. Boy, Ray really wants that title, doesn't he? And then you had Andrade come out. So it was the same thing as last week, except Joe was in there. Hell of a match, people. I was pleasantly surprised by this. So far, a very average SmackDown. Match started. Match continued. Match was good. Very good match. Oh, by the way, Samoa Joe is now your new United States champion. I think this is a good move. Joe's got some gold around him now. I like it. I like it. Let's face it, R-Truth fans, they weren't going anywhere with that. They were not going anywhere with that. Don't get upset. He was doing some comedy spots. He filled in the gap there till Fastlane, and Joe is now your new U.S. champ. Where they go from here, I don't know. But if they want to go Joe and Ray, that'd be good. They want to go Joe and Andrade, that'd be good. That'd probably be better, I think. But who knows? We'll see. The man's backstage walking around on a crutch. And she's talking to some dork back there. I guess he's like, hey, it's Becky Lynch. You're here on SmackDown where you were drafted in the brand split. This is, oh, hey, good to see you. No, he really didn't say that, but they were just, play acting, talking. They weren't talking about anything as far as I know. They showed a promotional vid of the promotional tour of the New Day in India, and I'll say this. They're in the car. They get out of the car, and Woodsy is vlogging it. And there's Kofi in the back where he belongs. There he is. He's back there just being good old smiley Kofi of the New Day. So, cheers to the New Day. Cheers to Kofi. Love it. Thanks for letting Kofi shine for 2 weeks. Now get back in line. Get back to your act where you belong. Next up, we have Ricochet and Aleister Black defeat The Bar. Boy, these two guys that are in this tag team from NXT, the very hyped, very well built up tag team of Ricochet and Aleister Black. If you go back in the past 2 years, you could see all of their tag matches in NXT. Yeah, they won. They beat The Bar again. Highlight of this match was probably Corey Graves quoting the Satanic Bible. Nobody knows it, but I do, which makes my thesis on the Aleister Black character correct. You don't believe me? Go back and watch the match and see if you can get it. After the match, Ricochet and Black are celebrating when Rusev and Nakamura attack. And then they quickly expel Rusev and Nakamura because Matt and Jeff Hardy came out and made the save. Looks like we got like a 4-on-4 thing going on. Very bad spot, in my opinion. Lazy booking. Show a little recap of Owens and Rowan and Daniel Bryan. Then you got Mandy Rose and Naomi. Very average match. Mandy Rose won. And after the match, her and DeVille are up at the top of the ramp, and Asuka snuck up behind them, and she took them both out. So Asuka apparently is okay from that injury that happened Monday night. And she took out Mandy. And I don't even know why this DeVille girl is with her, because it doesn't really make sense. I know they're attacked. I know NXT. It doesn't even make sense, man. The song is all Mandy. The entrance is Mandy. It's just all Mandy. Break them apart already. Still to come, will Becky Lynch accept the invitation from Charlotte Flair? Interesting spot here. Kayla Braxton is backstage with AJ Styles. Piggybacking off the show I did with General Stames last night, where we are in the minority, as we knew we would be, that this whole setup is about Vince McMahon getting kicked out off the show and Vince McMahon booking and getting involved. After last night, everybody is saying, yeah, the booking just sucks. It's going nowhere. Look what Stephanie said about the main event at WrestleMania with the girls. And it's all horse crap. Well, AJ Styles is in the back, and he reminds us all that Vince McMahon still exists. So right there you go. They're planting that seed to not forget about Vince McMahon. We said this last night on our show, on our Raw review, and we meant it because we can see past 2 hours of a show. AJ says you take opportunities when you can get them. He says he wouldn't want to be in Owens' position or Kofi Kingston's position. He goes on and says the McMahon family isn't listening to the fans because they are screaming for Kofi right now. Do you think he said that for a reason? You think we're probably going to see Vince Monday? You think he's probably going to screw Becky again? I don't know. I just don't know. It's too hard for me to figure out. Maybe we'll get a screw job on Sunday night. Stay tuned. Randy Orton appears and he asks if AJ is seriously ranting about how someone deserves a WWE title shot other than himself. No wonder it took you 15 years to get here. And the crowd popped for that. So, a little behind-the-scenes insult at AJ there. Next match, Kevin Owens versus Rowan. Nothing happened here. Owens won by DQ. He hit a stunner this week again, and boy, oh boy, it looked a lot better. You know why? It looked better because he didn't just sit and stay seated. As soon as he hit that, he popped right up just like Austin did. Looked much better this week. So, good on Kevin Owens because people were giving him some crap about using the stunner last week. Looked a lot better this week. And I think that's, if you go back and watch Owens' stunner compared to Austin's, I think that's the key. When you hit that move, you just got to get right back up. And Austin used to do it in one fell swoop. Watch Owens tonight. He did it. It's very good tonight. We see Charlotte Flair walking backstage. Go to a commercial. Back from the break, and out comes Charlotte Flair. She cuts the promo, being all condescending to the fans and to the man, and Charlotte says, how are we going to get her out here? I know. Becky. And she's mocking everybody, and the crowd starts doing it, which is hysterical. And then Becky comes out. Becky cuts a promo tonight. It was okay. At least she said something. Charlotte starts attacking her. Charlotte used the crutch on her. Charlotte was teetering the line there of doing a repeat of Ronda, and I'm glad they didn't do it because it didn't need to be done. Becky got the upper hand, put her in her, disarm her, and bad news for the censors. If you listen closely, you can hear, I'm going to rip her effing arm off, except she didn't say effing, she said, I'm going to rip her fucking arm off. And then, of course, the next two lines were, I'm going to rip her arm off. I'm going to rip her arm off. You can go ahead and back and watch it. But that was pretty good. It made Becky look strong going into the main match on Sunday for Fastlane. So, all in all, this show, as I'm looking at it, very average, but it did two things. One, actually, three things. I'll throw Samoa Joe in there, too. It did three things. It hyped up Owens and Bryan, which obviously it needed it because it's only a week old. It also gave Joe the secondary title, and maybe he can put some emphasis on that title, make it mean something again by having good matches and decent promos because he's Joe. And then the third thing it did was it got Becky some power back. They moved the meter a little bit to Becky on this. And I think she needed it after the beatdown she took on Monday night from Ronda. So, moving on to Fastlane Sunday. We shall see what happens. But I got to tell you, looking at the card, it doesn't look like it's going to be a hot show. I really don't think so. But all I'll say is the prediction stands that we said last night and that we said last week. This is about Vince McMahon screwing her and dumping more dirt on her because she's the babyface and he's the heel. So I'm sure Becky wins unless he does a screw job or something. Maybe she wins and he comes out after the match and says, yeah, I didn't book this match. My daughter did. So it doesn't stand. The WrestleMania main Women's Raw match is still going to be Ronda versus Charlotte. Or they'll just wait and hold off till Monday Night Raw. So I'm not expecting too many surprises this week. SmackDown was okay. But for a go-home show, I think they could do a lot better than they did. So sorry about the length of this show here tonight, but, you know, I got to a point where I wasn't going to, you know, contact any of the SOS because I didn't think the show was that good, SmackDown. So I decided, I'll just jump on, do a quick review, give something to the people that care to listen to more SmackDown reviews. And so I want to thank everybody for listening. Keep listening. If you care to like this video, like it. If you care to subscribe. We'd appreciate it. If you want to leave a comment for any of us, do so. We have Soldiers of Shoot on Twitter. You can check us out at Soldiers of Shoot. And there are currently 4 of us here at SOS. So if you go ahead and in the profile of the Soldiers of Shoot on Twitter, you can get our individual profiles, our individual Twitter handles, and tweet any of us. So for Soldiers of Shoot, I'm Hollywood Edwards, and I'm out.